Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. How is everybody doing? Today it looks like we have Darla and Gemma with us. Piston's in the room. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere. Let's see who's here. Feel free to say hello. Let us know where you're joining from, how your day is going, how Uranus has been affecting you so far for the start of this week. Christine says, happy Wednesday, Jackie and Tribe. The gang's all here. Yes, they are. The one blue heart for Piston, the two pink hearts for the girls. So cute. Hello, Sweat. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Kaz. Hi, Lisa. Lisa says hi to you guys. Hello, Karen. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, Nicole. Greetings, Jackie. Hi, Angie. Hello, Rhonda from Texas. If this is your first time with me, my name is Jacqui Mancuso. I'm joining you guys from Northern Illinois. Today we're talking about all of the astrology for the rest of the week, and then we're going to pull some oracle cards to see how we can best utilize the upcoming energy. Good morning, Diana, and greetings, April. I have a lot to talk about today. I got actually really excited as I was making today's notes. And I just want to clarify. In the show description on Insight Timer, I wrote something about like this upcoming turbulent weekend. And let me just give you guys my thought process. I natally have Mercury in Aries, and so I'm very quick, just like, I don't know, just get it on paper, just do it. Like sometimes if I don't feel like doing the research, I just like, no, whatever, there it is. And so I saw the upcoming transits, and all I really saw was square, conjunction, conjunction. And I'm like, that's going to be turbulent. But when I was making my notes, I'm like, wow, this is going to be a really good weekend. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. I rush a lot of things, and that's one of my downfalls. And I'm trying to slow down, which hopefully will happen now that we have Mercury moving into Taurus. So I canceled Friday's event. I did that yesterday. I wanted to give you guys a heads up. I had a live event scheduled for Friday morning, but the way that my week is going, I need to dedicate Friday's time to creating the Gemini course for you guys, because Gemini season starts on Monday, and I got to get going on that. So just know that we are combining today's discussion that was going to be on Mercury entering Taurus and the upcoming weekend discussion is all today. So we got a lot to talk about. Hello, Michelle, my belle. Karen, the pups are so lazy this morning. It's chilly. We had a chilly day yesterday, so the house is still kind of warming up. Good morning, Debbie. Good afternoon, Mimi. Janice says, Gemma's making me laugh the way she's on the couch. She does that. So Darla was there first, and Gemma just like has to sneak her way in there. She has to squeeze her way in there. It's Rainy by Karen. Sweat, Mercury in Taurus per Vedic and in Gemini per Western. Yes. Yes, there's different ways to study astrology. I haven't done enough research on Vedic or on sidereal, so I don't know. I can't give you guys an option. I've been, I was going to say indoctrinated. That's a Freudian slip. I'm in the Western astrology mindset, and I don't know if it's the best one. It's just what I know, and it's working for me, so I'm going to use it. Good morning, Rachel. Happy birthday. Love it. Karen, your granddaughter is named Gemma. We got her name. She was adopted, and she came with that name, and we thought it fit, so we kept it. So, because I will not be here anymore on Friday, today we're going to discuss 4 things. Mercury entering Taurus, Mercury squaring Pluto, Venus meeting up with Uranus, and the Sun meeting up with Jupiter. So firstly, later today, Mercury will enter Taurus. Mercury will remain in Taurus from May 15th until June 3rd. Quick little spurt. Mercury in Taurus feels a lot different than Mercury in Aries, where he has been for over 2 months. Mercury entered Aries on March 9th. He had his retrograde in Aries, and now he's finally ready to move into Taurus. So Mercury is the planet that works with our mind. He affects how we communicate, how we think, how we process information. Aries gets things going. Mercury in Aries is fast, he's snappy, he's quick, he's direct. So we're going to experience a slowdown in our minds and in our processing speed as Mercury enters Taurus today until June 3rd. Mercury in Taurus helps us focus on sustaining because Taurus is a fixed earth sign. Taurus wants to follow through on what Aries started. So Mercury in Taurus will be less focused on being fast or being new, and our minds now will help us tune into what is truly valuable. What's worth our mental energy? Is this thought pattern really serving me? Is this conversation really necessary? So I just kind of briefed over Mercury in Taurus. It happens really fast, and I'm curious to see if you notice the slowdown. Shortly after Mercury enters Taurus, he's going to make a square to Pluto on Friday, May 17th. Squares happen when planets are 90 degrees away. It's tension. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel easy. We had this Mercury-Pluto square one time last year in the same signs when Pluto entered Aquarius for the first time. Mercury in Taurus squared Pluto in Aquarius. This happened last year on April 3rd. So I love to look back through my photos to see if anything significant happened that would help me feel into this aspect a little bit more deeply. And what I found from April 3rd in my own photos last year was very fitting to Mercury square Pluto. So Mercury receiving a square from Pluto translates to Mercury the mind receiving a square, feeling pressure, from Pluto the destroyer, the planet of depth and truth. So this square feels like a desire to investigate, some pressure to get to the bottom of something, to research, to uncover. And on April 3rd last year, it was the day after I got home from my first ever retreat. And I was Googling information on some of the crystals that I had obtained on the trip. And I was researching Libyan desert glass. I got this. I picked this up last year. I was trying to, is it clear? Is it coming in clear, sort of? I was trying to find myself moldavite, and moldavite would not make its way to me. So I found this Libyan desert glass, and it had a similar message. It's like moldavite light. If you don't know about moldavite, it blew up on the internet a few years ago, but essentially moldavite, it blew up in price also because it was all over social media, but it's supposed to help rid your life of whatever is not meant for you. So I digress. That doesn't have to do with my story. So I was researching Libyan desert glass. Libyan desert glass. And I wanted to see where Libya was on a map because I'm not the best at geography. So I Google mapped it. And I want to ask you guys about the world oceans. This is a time for audience participation right now. Please do not consult Google Maps, and I want you to help me finish this list of world oceans. There's the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and what? I'm gonna wait. There's the Atlantic, the Pacific, the Indian, and what? Thank you, Anique, Sweat, Diana, Patrick, Melissa, Jackie, Arctic. The Arctic Ocean, right? Yeah, last year when I Googled, that's a sea, Angie, the Mediterranean Sea. When I Googled Libya, it brought up the world, right? Since when is the Arctic Ocean called the Southern Ocean? I went down some rabbit holes. I was like, what is this? Why is there a Mandela effect on Google Maps? So there's Mercury square Pluto, right? I was like blown away. It's literally called the Southern Ocean on Google Maps. I don't know if it's still, but I found that screenshot because I was like sending it to a bunch of people I knew. And so that was my point of Mercury square Pluto last year. I found this thing and I was like, I have to get to the bottom of this. I have to discover, right? I have to investigate. I have to dig. And that day I was note-taking a lot of other things. I was definitely in research mode last year when Mercury and Pluto squared themselves. So I would expect that this Friday, when Mercury squares Pluto again, if you feel like digging, if you feel like getting to the bottom, finding the truth of something, allow yourself to dig. There's a reason. There's a reason you're meant to uncover something upcoming into the weekend. The Statue of Liberty and the island it's on. My brain says Ellis Island. Is it different now? Does someone else think something different? Is it Ellis Island? Because I've never actually been there. I know that Ellis Island is where all the immigrants came. They still come? I don't even know. History, guys, I don't believe history. It's his story. Anyway, so on Saturday the 18th, Venus is then going to take a turn meeting up with Uranus at 23 degrees of Taurus. This is the same degree where the Sun and Uranus just met up on Monday. And this feels so good to me. With Monday's Sun-Uranus conjunction, we discussed how the Sun supercharged Uranus's radical out-of-the-box energy. If you missed Monday's live, the recording is posted to my YouTube channel. You could just search my name and you'll find me there. So the Sun supercharged Uranus's radical, out-of-the-box, who knows what's going to happen, lightning bolt energy. Now Venus, on Saturday, the planet of beauty and values, she's going to pass over that same point. And she's going to help us see the value of uncertainty. I see Venus as the divine feminine of the zodiac. Venus softens, Venus lightens. So if this has already been a crazy week for you, even month, if it's been nuts in your life, essentially since the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, that was about 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks ago. If this has been a crazy time for you, if Uranus has been shaking things up too much, Venus is on her way this weekend to help it all make sense. Venus is here to help lighten the load and to help soften the blow. Athena and Hannah, you guys have been having a nutso time. Darla's dreaming, having a fun time. If I wanted to use the word masochist, but then I Googled what masochist meant, and that's definitely not the word I wanted to use. But if you are a lover of chaos like me, and if you're excited for the change, if you're able to drop into the flow and detach enough to just go with it, when Venus meets up with Uranus on Saturday, to me, this feels like a, thank goodness type of weekend. This feels like a, oh my gosh, it all makes sense kind of moment. Because no matter how comfortable you are with change, one, we are humans and we have emotions. Two, it's Taurus season and we're experiencing the sun's predictable energies. And three, there's always an adjustment period when things hit the fan. So when Venus meets up with Uranus this weekend, I feel like she's going to show you why it was worth it. What is the meaning behind all this change? What is the hidden value? Especially with the Mercury-Pluto square coming up right before that. So if you feel inclined to dig, to research, to investigate, that's where you might uncover some of this Venus with Uranus value, valuing the unpredictability, valuing the stuff that you would never think of. Lisa says this feels quite powerful. I have Mercury in Taurus natal and Venus at 23 degrees of Venus, or of Taurus natal. That's amazing, Lisa. Anique, I definitely feel the oomph of Aries season, and then I just hit a wall. Yeah. Kiana, Aries season was intense. A lot changed for me during that time. Yes. Thank you, Patrick. History isn't his story. It derives from Greek. To know. Interesting. Anique, Taurus season has been emotional, dragging, uncertain, low motivation, and less joy despite the blooming trees. Hopefully this weekend. I have one more thing to talk about this weekend. Bonnie, let's see what the value in this stuff from last week. You know, it brings family together. When stuff hits the fan, it brings family together, right? Kiana, now I'm planting seeds for my next chapter and doing a lot of research and learning new things at this time. Love it. So Venus meeting up with Uranus beautifully coincides with our annual Sun-Jupiter conjunction. This also happens on Saturday, May 18th. Both of these conjunctions happen on the same day. When the Sun and Jupiter meet up, it's considered to be the luckiest day of the year. This is because the Sun supercharges whatever it's near. It adds light and it adds energy to, this time it's Jupiter, the planet of abundance, growth, expansion, luck, truth. Truth. I relate Jupiter to a few different archetypes. The Kool-Aid Man, because Jupiter is big and in your face and he makes his presence known. I relate Jupiter to Santa Claus because he's joyous and generous and there's always something more waiting for you. And I love relating Jupiter to the cool uncle, the one who gives you the obnoxiously unnecessary gifts that your parents don't want to waste the money on. Michelle Maybell, yes, May 18th, this upcoming Saturday, Sun conjunct Jupiter. So if you want to find where 28 degrees of Taurus falls in your natal chart to see which house is receiving this conjunction, this might give you some insight into which area of your life is receiving luck and abundance. Okay, next Friday, we're going to talk about Jupiter in Gemini. I believe it's Friday, yes. So if you find 28 degrees of Taurus in your chart, that's where the Sun and Jupiter are meeting up, and then find which house that occurs within your chart, and that will let you know which area of your life is receiving all this luck and abundance. Last year, this conjunction happened on April 11th. Last year, this conjunction happened at 21 degrees of Aries. And my niece was actually born that day, so I'm really excited to see how that plays out throughout her life, having the Sun conjunct Jupiter in her natal chart. I think it's so exciting. Let me tell you guys what happened with my life last year during the Sun-Jupiter conjunction. Last year, the conjunction happened in Aries. And in my birth chart, it was in my second house. So, not to say that everything's going to play out exactly how it did in the past, but we can use patterning to loosely predict what's coming. So last year, Jupiter conjunct the Sun in Aries is the self. For me, it was the second house, which represents resources. Knowing with my astrological knowledge that I had luck on my side, the day before the luckiest day of the year, last year, was the day I quit my job on a whim. I opened my computer to start my workday. It was the first Monday back to work after spring break. This was the first day back to work since I hosted my first retreat, and I was on a super high from just community collaboration, spiritual women. And I had a week to myself after my retreat with no obligations. I had a few clients, I was already dabbling in this work, but I opened my computer to go back to work and I was flooded with work obligations. It just felt so constricting. emails requesting my attention all over the place. We need to pull your student here. You have to do this. You have to fill this out. And at the time, it was my plan to finish out the school year, the semester, and then figure it out. But something in my being told me that Monday morning I was done. I was done. So naturally, I consulted my oracle cards, and I was receiving strong messages that it was time. I was safe. I was protected. It's time. It was time for me to earn my own money. Here comes Aries energy, the self, second house energy, money. It's time for me to be independent with my money. And I have had zero regret, if negative regret is possible. I've had negative regret of quitting my part-time job. I'm ecstatic to this day that I made that choice. I quit through an email. I emailed my boss and I said that I quit effective immediately. I had an ounce of guilt to do that to them because we've been societally conditioned to give 2 weeks notice, right? But in that moment, I put myself first. And I'm sure the 5 students that I had a new teacher within days. I'm sure I wasn't the first person to do this. And I emailed all my students individually just to be transparent with them, to inform them of what was going on. And then I took Piston for a walk every day that week. I took my dog for a walk every day that week, and I just basked in joy. So thank you for reminiscing with me. That was one of my most proud moments ever. It took so much courage. It took so much trust. It took so much belief in myself. And I'm so thankful for that version of myself. So this year, Jupiter and the Sun are meeting up in Taurus. The themes of this conjunction are money, resources, tools, skills, self-worth, feeling stable and secure, what we find valuable. Taurus is also related to food, the physical body, our senses, the earth, and nature. So I know I gave you a broad list of Taurus energy, and I did that on purpose because I don't want you to limit what's possible for you by pinholing on one theme of Taurus. I know the economy's in the tank right now, and everyone hears like, oh, an abundance of money? I'm going to wait for money. I'm waiting for this amount of money. If you do that, you limit yourself. Open up to receive tools. Open up to receive skills, resources, other things you find valuable. If you know how to locate the end of Taurus in your chart and figure out which house this is all happening in, this part of your chart has been so active, at least for the last month. First, we had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. That was at 21 degrees of Taurus. We recently had a new moon at 18 degrees of Taurus. We're coming up on, well, we had the Sun and Uranus conjunction at 23 of Taurus. We're coming up on the Venus-Uranus conjunction at 23 of Taurus. We have the Sun meeting up with Jupiter at 28 degrees of Taurus. So honestly, 18 to 28 degrees of Taurus, it's hot, 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 hot. We can even extend it. I would give it 15 of Taurus to the first few degrees of Gemini, 1-2 degrees of Gemini. If you have any placements there, radicalize them. These are all beautiful, surprising, delightful aspects. There's no doom and gloom here. There's no Pluto energy. There's no Saturn energy. There's no Mars even for the potentiality that it gets angry. These are all beautiful aspects that are happening in this little section of your chart. Expect miracles. Open yourself up to miracles. They're trying so hard to get to you. And just a little bit lastly, Saturday's chart. If you know how to look up a chart for a day, I really encourage you just to look at Saturday's chart. This is when we have Venus and Uranus, Sun, Jupiter together. Just looking at the chart is pretty cool. So you can hop on, I use astro.com, and then you would just create a birth chart for May 18th, wherever you live. I usually set my charts for 8:15 a.m. Central Time, the time that I come on Insight Timer. But this might make more sense if you're looking at it. We have the Sun and Jupiter. They are in a grand trine with Pluto and the Moon. So it's an out of sign grand trine because we have Taurus, Earth, we have Pluto and Aquarius, air, and then we have the Moon in Libra, air. So we have this grand trine. Grand trines, it's a big equilateral triangle in the sky. This brings so much harmony and ease when you allow it. And then we also have Neptune in the middle of Pluto and the Sun-Jupiter conjunction. This creates a mini trine. This aspect represents developing skills. A mini trine happens when we have two sextiles, two 60-degree mini, and then a trine. So it makes, I don't remember the names of triangles. This aspect represents developing our skills, and right now, Neptune is up there. We're working on trusting and surrendering control. And then all of this together, the grand trine, the mini trine on top, and then we have an opposition. You have to see this with your eyes, but this all makes what's called a kite. So if you want to see this, I really recommend just looking up the chart for May 18th. If you set it for the time that we hop on Insight Timer, you'll be able to see clearly the moon is going to be in early Libra, which completes this kite. It's just really nice to look at. Jacqui, the trine has the Sun-Jupiter conjunction at 28 of Taurus, Pluto, 2 degrees of Aquarius, the moon at 1 degree of Libra, depending on what time you pull up for the chart. But early that morning, the moon is going to come and make this kite, because the kite has a lot of moving parts, and it's really the moon that like solidifies it. It's a little bit advanced astrology. It's even taking me some time to swallow what the kite is all about. Tam's sextiles are half of a trine. I don't talk about sextiles here. I just come here and I talk about the big stuff, the big picture astrology. But a trine is 120 degrees. It's when planets are in the same element. The same element. So we'll use, air, right? So if there's Libra and Aquarius, if the planets are around the same degrees, I think there's like a 3-degree orb of difference. They're trine, 120 degrees, harmony, because they're working with the same element. They're like, okay, this is familiar, let's do this. Sextiles are half of that. Sextiles are a 60-degree. It's still harmonious because they're the same. Sextiles would happen between air and fire or between earth and water. Air and fire are both masculine energies, yang energies. Earth and water are both feminine. They're both yin energies. So it's not as supportive as a trine, but it's still a harmonious energy. I hope that makes sense. Jacqui got that. So you're saying that keeping out the moon gives you 2 trines. Yes. If you took the moon away, you would just have the trine between Pluto and Jupiter Sun with the sextile. So you'd still have the mini trine, and then you wouldn't have the grand trine completed with the moon. Anik, I'm gonna need to watch this replay. Hey, always, every time you're here, just take what resonates and leave the rest. There's no need to keep up. There's no need to understand every word that comes out of my mouth. Believe me. Sometimes, even like, I know a lot of you guys listen to Molly McCord, and there's a lot of times that even Molly McCord is talking, and I'm like in the shower, just doing my thing, like, oh, I'll pick up on whatever she talks about. When I first started listening to Pam Gregory, I was like, lady, what the hell are you saying? But there was something about her that I just liked her energy, and I kept coming back. So don't worry about getting every bit. Okay, let's talk about the oracle cards. Let's get into the oracle cards. So I want to know what we need to know about this upcoming weekend. We got a lot of really positive energy coming up, so what do we need to know about it? That's how I'm going to ask the question. And we're first going to use the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck to ask, what do we need to know about this upcoming weekend in alignment with our highest good? I always like to throw that in there. So feel free to send your energy into this deck. I wonder how that might come up, Bonnie. She said, I know what I need to know is bubble up. Let's see. What do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? I always do group readings, but these messages are 100% for you. Some of them might not make conscious sense. Some of these things, it's just you need to be in the energy of it to like get the motion going. But the whole reading is going to be for all of us. However, I like to play and I like to teach. So when I have the 3 cards ready for us, I'll show you the backs of the 3 cards. And, oh, Greg. Oh, Greg. I'm sending you a lot of love, Greg. Looks like Greg just lost his dear friend. Tamara has to put your fur baby down tomorrow. We need this weekend, guys, huh? Sun conjunct Uranus. What the hell is happening? How can Venus make it make sense? And what does the Sun and Jupiter have to offer us with all of this? Just regaining my sense of where I'm at right now. So the whole reading is for all of us, but after the 3 cards fall out for us, asking what we need to know about this upcoming weekend, I'll show you the backs of the cards, and then I invite you to use your intuition. Just notice if anything changes in your environment. It doesn't have to be the typical psychic senses. It can be that a bird flies up to your window, or that your phone rings, or you sneeze, or your kid calls you from the other room and asks you a question. Anytime that something changes, I believe that it's the universe speaking to us in one way or another. And then you can use whatever decoder you want to decode what that means for you. But if a certain card just feels right, if something changes, if you just know, that could mean that that card has the most important message for you. If you feel no change, and you start to question if you have an intuition, you don't need to do that because you do have an intuition. Sometimes the whole message holds equal importance and everything is meant for you. So the universe won't tell you to focus in on one message because it wants you to take the whole. So I love all of the love and support that's in this. This is so funny. All the love and support that's in this community, you guys are just the best. I'm so happy that we have all come here and we're all just so close-knit. I'll tell you afterwards why that was funny, because I don't want to influence your decisions. All right, so what do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? I'll show you the backs of the cards. Let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you guys. Here is the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. I'll show them one more time. It's just so magical. There's been so many angel numbers this morning already, and then this reading, I'm just so excited. One more time, what do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? The back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. and the back of card number 3. I was laughing because card number 3, you guys saw it fly out. It flew out this way and it fell into my garbage can. And we had a bunch of garbage energy on Monday, so I'm just waiting to see how that comes out today as well. It's really funny. Let's see. Bonnie 3, Eleanor 3, Greg likes these bags. K, 1 circles, 2 colors, the inner ring of colors, and the start points. Anique 1, Mimi 3, Violet 3, April 2, Kiana all 3, Jacqui 1, Greg, I don't know, so all 3. Your energy is used elsewhere right now, Greg, and that's okay. Hannah had chills on all 3. Chantel 1, shoulder, 2, third eye, 3, throat. Cool. Christine 3, a bird tweeted 3 times on card 3. Cool. Michelle, my bell, all 3. Nicole 2. April, oh, woohooza, all. First time for all. Cool. Jenny 1, May 1 and 3. Okay, the light I was at turned green for me to turn left when you held up 1 the second time. Cool. Athena 1 and 3. Michelle 3. Nathos 3. Lisa 2. Malika 3. Karen must be all 3. Michelle, my bell. Which one fell on the ground? Towards the dogs. Oh shoot, I don't remember. I'm sorry. I think it was 1, but I don't remember. Okay, it's go time, baby, with 1. Rebecca 3, Ella 3, deep exhale. Leah 2 and 3. Melinda, I think maybe all 3 today. Angel, card number got fuzzy. Card number what, Angel? Not those I meant to push 2, but fat finger 3. Freudian slip? I don't know if that applies. That could be an intuitive thing. Diana 1 and 3. Kaz all 3, I think. Violet still getting rid of my garbage. Sometimes it takes time. Jonique 3. Angel 3. Yvonne all 3 today. Birds chirping, trash truck, and my cat cleaning herself. Cool. Lori all especially 2. April all 3. I need all the guidance I can get right now. Okay, then you saw 999 on a license plate when you mentioned 3 again. Cool. Nicole, 1 and 2. Patty, 3. Nancy, 2. Just guessing, had to take a call. Missed the cards. Is it a guess or is it your intuition? What do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? Mercury square Pluto, investigation. Venus conjunct Uranus, valuing the chaos. Sun conjunct Jupiter, luck and abundance. Where you allow it. Card number 1 is card number 48. This is the 10th house, and the message is authority. And if I remember correctly, I think this came up the last time we used this deck. I might be joking. If your chart were a village map, the 10th house would hold the courthouse, government seat, and the public face of your work. Darla's affirming with her dreaming. Here is the arena for your most public self, your relationship to authority figures, and your role as a leader. You are being asked to step up and take on the next level of personal authority. It's hard to build something without a clear blueprint. So look at your definition of a strong leader and decide whether you need to amend it. Remember how you felt as a kid about your parents, the school principal, priests, police, and teachers, and observe whether they used their responsibility wisely and encouraged you to develop yours, or whether you needed to rebel to be safe. Notice your relationship to the concept of divine authority and investigate if it was something to be feared, ignored, or expanded. Did it offer you safety and refuge? These patterns affect both how you react to outside authority and what you expect from yourself as a parent, a professional, in a leader. Sort between the traits that worked and those not worth emulating. Deconstruct assumptions about authority that no longer serve you. Authority is no longer what people carry. It is what you are developing within. Take responsibility for healing old wounds around empowerment and create new blueprints. If needed, tell off someone who abused their authority, either in person, in therapy, or in a letter you burn and release. Get the training and certification you need. Create a mental collage of good role models, people who lead in a way that empowers others. Create a clear picture of competent, responsible, lovable, and empowering authority. Step into that role and be a pillar in your community and family with confidence. The challenge of this card: a bully is a parody of true leadership. Be careful not to mistake power over other people as equal to empowerment within. The gift of this card: wherever you are in your evolution, it's time to take the next step up the mountain of leadership, empowerment, and accomplishment. And this will, our culminating deck, the culminating question is going to talk about this card as well. So what do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? You get to choose how you empower yourself. It doesn't need to come in the same way that you've been shown in the past. It doesn't need to come in the same way that you've been expecting it to come. So this card talks about our authority and how we think we have authority in the world, how we were taught and shown to have authority. And if you don't, oh my God, here's Pluto square Mercury. If you don't take the time to question what happened in your life, if you don't take the time to investigate, was that right? Was that relationship really the best? Did they use their responsibility the best way, in a divine aligned way? You might just be following patterning that is programmed into your subconscious that's not necessarily in alignment with your highest good. So I'm sure that the rest of the reading will make this make more sense. But what do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? Maybe your authority isn't what you thought it was. Maybe your empowerment doesn't come from the place you thought it comes from. Yeah. Let's see what else comes through. Greg, LOL, valuing the chaos? Okay, message received. That's Venus conjunct Uranus for you. Kiana, wow. Jacqui, Sun conjunct Jupiter is in my 10th house, and I picked card 1. What did you get from that card, Jacqui? That's huge. Anique has had this card before. Michelle, my belle. Whoa, this gave me mad chills. Yes, Darla's running in her dreams. Her pawsies were bouncing. Yeah, she was going nuts. I was trying to like lean over so you guys could see. You can go watch her. What else? What else do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? Card number 2 is card number 23, which is the degree where all this Uranus stuff is happening. And the card is Jupiter. So the Sun conjunct Uranus, 23 degrees of Taurus. Venus conjunct Uranus, 23 degrees of Taurus. Jupiter is conjunct the Sun this weekend. Jupiter's message is abundance. Jupiter symbolizes how we expand our world through education, law, philosophy, travel, abundance, and an expansive spirit. Jupiter, the traditional ruler of Sagittarius and Pisces, is a huge gas giant, 2.5 times the volume of all the other planets put together. It takes 12 years to circle the zodiac, spending roughly 1 year in each sign. Named for the ruler of all the gods and surrounded by 79 known moons, Jupiter never does anything in small proportions. Think bigger. This scenario requires you to be expansive and forgiving. Deal with it in a spacious, curious, fair, and philosophical way. Think globally. Bring in contributions from all around the world. Consider traveling physically or traveling with your senses by listening to music from a less familiar culture or tasting their food. Talk to people who grew up in a circumstance foreign to yours and get their viewpoint. Diversify your perspective and that of your team to discover the missing pieces that need to make up a larger whole. Engage in abundant optimism. Get the word out through generosity. Give abundantly and goodwill comes back to you. Invest in education, publication, and broadcasting. Just be careful that your generosity is actually helping the recipient, not enabling or burdening them. Ask what would really help. Jupiter's energy needs a big room and an audience, but it can overshadow important people in more intimate circumstances. Watch that your expansive capacity does not cramp the experimentation of beginners or crowd beloved introverts. Notice where you might overwhelm the people you love and give them room for their more subtle style. If you are the one being so overwhelmed, appreciate your own value, expand in ways that work for you, and let the person with Jupiter energy do their thing. The challenge of this card: Jupiter can bring too much of a good thing or leave people feeling overwhelmed. Watch out for magical thinking and a Pollyanna avoidance of problems. It's calling me out. The gift of this card: give and you shall receive. Jupiter calls you to expand your worldview, so reach out and feel at one with the whole universe. What do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? Make it bigger. Expand. Get your fingers into unfamiliar territory so that you can experience a broadened view of whatever is happening. I don't want to use Greg as an example, but it's coming to mind, Greg. I hope you don't mind. If you're in a situation where you're moving through a process of grief, what I feel like this card is saying, and this can be used in any context, that's just the example that came to mind, but if you're going through a difficult time, thanks, Greg. If you're grieving the loss of someone beloved, I feel like what this card is saying, and this is anything that you're going through that's difficult, look to see how other people would handle your situation. I know that saying misery loves company, and I know it's not necessarily what it means, but like it's really nice to be comforted around the people who are going to give you what you expect. It's really nice to be comforted by and I'm calling myself out too. Like when I open up and I share feelings, I'm looking for a certain response. But what this card is saying is that if something is off, if something is difficult right now, look to people who would have done it radically different, you know, and like with Greg's situation, look to, what's that religion? It's like Zoroastrianism or something. I learned this in college when I took a world religion class. It was the coolest thing. It helped me accept death in a different way. There's this, it's like a tribal ancient religion, and instead of burying or burning their dead, they would put them up on plateaus and let the vultures take the flesh, and then they would put the bones all back into earth. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so regenerative. That's so useful. It serves a purpose. It's not just like, oh, dead, gone. It was like, oh, there's a different way to approach this whole situation. So not just for Greg, for anyone. Zoroastrianism, Christine. Cool, thank you guys. This is saying, don't look for comfort in the way, if you're having a hard time with all this change, don't look to the people who would do it the way that you do it. Expand, broaden, search, go out, go different, and look to see how other cultures, how other people would handle what you're going through. Cool. That's really cool that you guys know what I'm talking about. Because that was like the one time I've ever heard of that religion. Jenny got the same card last time. I think you're talking about the 10th house. Working with a lot of Saturn transit aspects in my chart right now. Of course you're getting the 10th house card with Saturn. Heather, 11th house for me, maybe leadership in the community. Yes, I get that. Nina with the Jupiter, let's go. Michelle, my belle, go big or go home, baby. Sia, Anik. I love it. Michelle, my belle, I'm going away this weekend with some people who I don't align with all the time. We're just different. I'm different. But they're all friends with my husband and whatnot. Hopefully we can find some harmony. I don't have to do things I don't like to fit in, but it's hard when I feel like I'm the odd one out. Maybe I just need to stop putting so much pressure on myself to be like them and just be me. Maybe I need to change my perspective. Yeah, I agree with you, Michelle. I know it's difficult to be around a bunch of people that you don't vibe with, but especially with this Jupiter card, like, just be curious. It doesn't mean you have to say that what your life is like is wrong and like they're the way to do it, but just be curious. Why would you enjoy that? What about this makes you enjoy that? I just noticed the time. I gotta rush. I'm having so much fun today. What else do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? Card number 3. This is card number 18. This is the degree where we just had our Taurus new moon at 18 degrees of Taurus. So there's a synchronicity. This is the card that fell in the garbage. And card number 3, card number 18, it's the sun. With our sun Uranus, or our sun Jupiter conjunction this weekend. Yeah, who has it in the 10th house? Because this reading is for you, 100%, even if it's not. Okay, card number 3 is the sun. What do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? The keyword is source. In your natal chart, the sun symbolizes the core of your personality, your life force, ego, and consciousness. The sign and aspects of the sun describe how you express your basic vital energy. From our earthly perspective, the sun circles the zodiac once a year. But in truth, the sun is the center point around which the planets revolve. All other bodies in our solar system reflect its light. It is unimaginably huge. 1 million Earths could fit within. Big energy this weekend, guys. The sun's light shines through the teacher, actor, lover, leader, those who use their enthusiasm, warmth, and charisma for a common good. It's time for you to take center stage. Let the sun's light flow through you and shine, illuminate and energize your surroundings, and use this to be of service. Notice what feeds your vitality and work with it. As you let the sun flow through you, your health will improve. You will draw support to your energy and enthusiasm. Step into your potential. If you are asking about a project, notice how the vitality flows through the design and clear the path. Let the situation be a channel for the sun's energy and feel it take on a life of its own. The challenge, oh my God, Leah. The challenge of this card, narcissism is the shadow of the sun's energy. The false belief that I am the center of the universe and you are not. Learn to earn attention and respect rather than demand or expect it. The gift of this card, the sunlit moment is an opportunity to let your ego step out of the way. Let the sun's light flow through you and let spirit do the work. Shine wholeheartedly and share the warmth with friends, family, your community, and the world. Make it an offering. Live the truth. I am the center of the universe, and so are you. This card just hit me so hard with the difference between that. Because I read that, I am the center of the universe, and my brain right away was like, but I am. But then I read, and you are not. That's the difference. That's what makes it not egotistical. I know that I'm the shit, but I also know that you're the shit. I also know that everything that I'm capable of, you're capable of, and I want to help you get there, right? So what do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? You get to be an authority. You get to shine your light as big and as expansive as you want to shine it, because your role is to help other people get to where you want to go as well. It's not just you that needs to steal the whole show. You get to show, you get to lead by example. You get to encourage and motivate and inspire others to do what you know is possible. That really helped my ego right there, because it feels really good to boost myself up, but it's not that I think I'm better than you guys. I know that you guys are just as equal as everything. We're all the same. We're all the same. We can all do all these beautiful things. So that's beautiful. So what do we need to know about this upcoming weekend? Just fucking shine. Just go for it. Just go for it. I am the center of the universe, and so are you. And I think that this Jupiter card can really play to that, because this Jupiter card was encouraging us to expand our worldview, expand our philosophy, go look at what other people are doing and just get interested in why. Why are you that way? Why do you enjoy that thing? And that might help you feel more confident and comfortable to do the things that you want to do, even when they're different than your society, or when they're different from your family, or when they're different from your coworkers, your friend group. Because I am the center of my universe and you are the center of yours, and we each have our own unique places where we get to shine on this world. And then lead with that. Lead from that perspective. This might be a weekend of remembering and healing the people in your life who told you, I'm the center of the universe and you're not. This card was in the garbage, so we can consider that to be the garbage message. Get rid of those people. You don't need to associate with people who think that you're smaller than them, who truly believe that you're smaller than them. There's a difference between feeling like you're small because of your own insecurities, and there's a difference between someone intentionally making you feel small. And how can you know the difference? Communication. Hey, what you said made me feel this way. Is this how you meant for it to come out? Yes or no? That's hard. That's difficult. Wonderful cards today. Yes, we have one more card from one more deck. I don't mean to rush. I would love to read all these comments. I know they're beautiful. Everyone is having insights today. This is amazing. I am the center of the universe and so are you. That gave me so much validation I love that card a lot. So we're going to ask one more question from one more deck. Remember when we had this authority card and I was like, oh, that this last question is really going to help. Quick reason why I chose this deck. I talked about the Jupiter-Sun conjunction, luckiest day of the year. Last year, I used this conjunction to quit my job and work for myself, and I consulted oracle cards. At the time, I was going through a Viking phase, and I never really got comfortable with this deck. That's why I don't use it on Insight Timer, because I don't know Viking lore, folklore. I don't know how to say a lot of these words. I don't know who these people are, but something told me, like, this is the deck that made you utilize the Sun-Jupiter last year. Let's help Insight Timer utilize Sun-Jupiter. This, we're going to ask for a message to boost trust and self-worth. I want a message to boost trust and self-worth. Saturday the 18th, Stephanie. Feel free to send your energy into this deck asking for a message to boost trust and self-worth. Ooh, I love that realization, Greg. It's the give and take. It's the flow. It's the flow of relationships. Sometimes you're center stage. Sometimes I'm center stage. The Viking Oracle. Christine. It's just called Viking Oracle. If you missed part of today's session, a message to boost trust and self-worth. I always record these sessions and I put them on my YouTube channel. so feel free to search my name on YouTube and look for the replay. If you've been enjoying today's session, if you've found value in today's session, if you would like to offer an exchange of energy in the form of a donation, they're always appreciated. There's no expectations, but they're always appreciated. If you are not a fan of donating on Insight Timer, I have a few other options to donate off of Insight Timer. In my profile, in my teacher profile, you can find my link tree. And I have PayPal and Venmo links in there if you would rather do that. I am working on my Gemini course because Gemini season starts on Monday. It will not be out on time. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. I'm trying to be, but it's impossible. The Gemini course is coming out as soon as I can get it together, but that will be available in my link tree for the time being. You can hang out with the Taurus course. The Taurus playlist is up there. Join my email list if you want to know anything that I'm doing. That's where I always post my updates. I just sent an email out yesterday teasing about my summer coaching spots. Yeah, so if you want to know more, sign up for the email list. It is in my Insight Timer teacher profile. I have no idea how to say this word, so this is going to be awesome. Please don't be perfect. You know, I strive for it. I try to. All right, so we are asking for a message to boost trust and self-worth, because really, guys, this weekend feels so beautiful. Feels so amazing. So this is card number 43. Oh my gosh. Can anyone give me the phonetic explanation of this word? Let me see if it's in the book, actually. Vegvizier? Vegvizier. Perfectly imperfect. We are never truly lost unless we choose to be. We each have a purpose, God's given gifts and direction to fulfill that purpose. Even in the direst of times, know that you are loved and protected. You can find your way, even if the way seems hidden to you. Vegvizier is an Icelandic rune symbol of great power. While scholars are unsure how long magical staves, such as Vegvizier, have been in use, although they have been found on archaeological pieces like stones and weapons from as early as 1400 AD. We first see them officially recorded in the manuscripts like the Hold manuscript in 1860. The Vegvizier is often referred to as the Viking compass, not only because it resembles a compass or a sundial, but because of its magical properties, which include protection while traveling through even the most severe storms. It was said that a person possessing the Vegvizier would never lose their way, even if the way was not known. Sigils, symbols used for magical purposes, like Vegvizier, were painted on objects, worked onto talismans, and tattooed upon the body. As, for the Vikings, marking oneself with a stave enhanced its power. It is also said those caught in blizzards or sea storms would draw Vegvizier on their bodies with their own blood or with charcoal as an emergency measure, believing the sigil would ensure their safety no matter what the elements threw at them. Even in our contemporary society, Vegvizier is still worn as a tattoo. Most famously, perhaps, the Icelandic singer Björk displays the stave on her left arm. This author of this book bears a Vegvizier tattoo as well, this deck. Vegvizier assists us in stepping forward into the unknown with confidence. It encourages us to continue our journey, even if the going gets tough. While we may feel lost or directionless, we can take courage in knowing that we will never lose our true path, even if at this moment we don't know exactly where we are going. If that does not relate to all of this whirlwind Uranus energy, And knowing that you can trust yourself and that you're worth it, I don't know what does. If you know anything else, yes, the symbol on this woman's forehead, that's what we're talking about. If you know anything about Vegvisir, please let us know. Greg wants to buy them. That's a special card. Not those that hits home. Athena group tattoos? You know, it is Uranus time. You never know what's going to come up. A message to boost trust and self-worth. I see the trust very clearly. This message is saying that no matter if you feel like you know where you are or not, consciously, your soul knows where you are. You're always being led down the right path. And if you feel like you're not, you can always ask the universe for help. You can pray. You can set intentions. You can fall on your knees and surrender. Because you're always on the right path. You're always exactly where you need to be. Julie, yes, Athena. My cat's name is Athena. And Persephone, cute. Ella. Veg equals way. Visir, someone who shows the way. You're never lost. Stephanie, yes, this is Viking Oracle. I'm showing the box on screen right now too. So that's what I have for you guys. This upcoming weekend, I'm just sitting to see if anything else comes out. Lots of circles here today, guys. 10th house, Jupiter, Sun, and this is a circle. Maybe do a little bit more research on Vegvisir. This feels like the Wheel of Fortune to me right now, because the Wheel of Fortune is also related to Sagittarius, which is thus Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Things have been nutty. But I feel like you have so much authority over yourself. That's what this is saying. You don't have to do it the way that you've been taught or programmed. The more you expand and learn how other people handle their shit, it might help you appreciate that other people are shining and you get to shine yourself. And don't be, what's that word? Embarrassed, or don't make yourself smaller. You are the center of the universe, and so am I, and so are you. I'll be back on Monday. Next week I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I wasn't trying to do a full week, but I have to. Next week we have the sun entering Gemini. Then we have a full moon, and then we have Jupiter entering Gemini. So lots to talk about next week. We're going to be working with a lot of that Sagittarius Gemini axis. The sun moves into Gemini, full moon in Sagittarius, Jupiter moves into Gemini. So teaching and learning, communication, expansion next week. Sending love to all. Namaste. I hope that video was just as insightful for you as it was for all of us. Darla and I really appreciate you being here with me. Thank you for liking this video, sharing it with a friend who you think would benefit, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, drop a comment and let us know what you got from this video. What was your biggest insight or takeaway? If you want to see what else I'm working on, click on my link tree. It's right underneath this YouTube video. We'll see you next time. Take care.